taken enough away from the Indigenous people.
The treaty lands here in Canada, you know, those agreements that we signed with the Crown, we never ceded our land. You often hear people say unceded land. You know, that's not an accurate thing to say. They negotiated the treaties. Our people didn't speak English. Our people didn't speak French. And they negotiated in bad faith. And to us, the treaty people that come here to stand in solidarity with the Coastal Salish people, you know, when we made those agreements, it included months of ceremony, fasting, pipe ceremonies, shake tent ceremonies, going into Sundance, praying about it, you know, in a way that we could invite the guests in. You know, even under gunboat diplomacy, we shared our land, you know, and we never ceded our land. And part of the treaty territory that I come from is Treaty Number 6, which is being affected by the Alberta tar sands expansion. So even though I'm way out in Manitoba, I have a sacred obligation to my ancestors who made that Treaty Number 6 with this land that they call Canada, to protect that land for my children and for their children and the children to come after them, and so on and so forth. And so, you know, in a good way, when we talk about how we do this fight, you know, there's no Native people in this country ceded their land, you know. We were kind, we continue to be kind, we continue to welcome our guests and to share in the abundance and richness of this land. But there's a sacred obligation and responsibility that comes with that. And that means that, you know, we are caretakers, we are stewards. You know, there really isn't a word in English to describe what our responsibility is as members of the Five-Fingered Nation. You know, this construct of race and class, you know, these are man-made concepts to keep us divided. We are all members of the Five-Fingered Nation, and we all have a sacred obligation to reevaluate our relationship to the sacredness of Mother Earth. That's what this time represents. You know, this cultural revolution that is happening with Indigenous peoples, not just in these lands they call Canada, but across Mother Earth. It has to do with us as human beings undoing what 150 years of industrialization has done and reconnecting to the sacredness of the place where we find ourselves, so that we actually give a heck to go out and defend it.
Yeah.
So that we care, so that we're not stuck in apathy, so that we're not feeling that empty void that exists inside of ourselves with hyper individualized consumerism. That's how they want you to be as a consumer. And we have a sacred responsibility. And the only way to fill that void for real, you know, instead of IKEA and all those other things, or oil economy, is by connecting to nature. And that's where this relationship of solidarity between British Columbian citizens and First Nations peoples and, you know, new people that have come to these lands seeking a better life, that is what we have to figure out. We have to get over this race BS. We cannot be divided by the economics of our lives, or, you know, with this class war BS fighting to protect our quality of life. We have to change the system, okay? We have to build a new economic paradigm. You know, one that doesn't force us to sacrifice certain communities at the altar of Justin Trudeau's economic policies. Okay, we can build an economy that gives everybody jobs to stay close to home, that doesn't tear the fabric of our families apart because workers have to travel thousands of miles to go extract resources from somebody else's territory. We have the implements, the teachings, the traditional knowledge, the Western science to build bioregionally designed economies that make sense for Mother Earth and that make sense for all of our relatives in the animal and plant kingdom. And so, yeah.